Welcome to the Moments That Matter podcast. My name is Laura Escamilla. I'm your host.
And I'm your co-host, Isaac Escamilla.
And today we have my friend, Celina. She is our most frequent guest. And the reason we have Celina on is that she is recently a week away from being an empty nester. And we wanted to get some insight as to how that's going and how that whole process went. So Celina, say hello.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be back.
So as you'll remember, the first season we had a lot of friends on talking about their experiences. And we got away from that. The second season, we brought on more students. And I wanted to get back to that because my friends are in full gear. They're going through a lot of obstacles and changes in their life. And I thought it'd be helpful to share what that was like for other parents who are also probably going through it. And we don't want them to feel like they're alone because this is normal.
That's right. Yes.
And also that are going to be going through it in a year. And it'd be helpful to hear there is no normal, if you will. Everybody's experience is different. So I was wondering if you could share just a little bit about what this last week has been like for you, how you're feeling, if there's anything that has surprised you about how you're feeling.
Sure. Just to make it clear, this was our third child dropping off at college. And so definitely it was very different from the other two. And now that we come home to an empty house, just in dropping her off, what made it easier was that she's at the same school as my son. And we planned for him to help us move her in along with her. My son's girlfriend also helped me out. Yeah, okay. So it was a family thing. And so I think we had more days to move her in. And
you're probably a little more prepared too, because you've done it twice before.
Absolutely. We didn't drop her off and leave town right away. We were able to go enjoy dinner. We visited the grandparents because they live close by. So it was just very different, just to settle her in. And so then once she settled in, we celebrated my son's 21st birthday. And that's when we knew we were going to go drop her off at her place because we would be leaving the next morning. And it's just my husband and I, and she's in the back seat. We're just talking, how's everything? It's already evening. It's already going to be 9 at night. And she got very quiet. And my husband turns around, are you okay? And that's when she got emotional. And I was in the front seat really trying to be positive. And I think just because it is our third time, I hadn't teared up just yet, and just giving her positive feedback. I said, your brother's here. There's family close by. You've got a cousin here. And I think that's what's also been settling for us, that we now are at home by ourselves, is that she has a support system in place. So all in all, we left. She left in good spirits and we got home. And I think we've been preparing for it for some time. Yeah. And I think also, when we got home, still that week, there was some TV programming that I was going to want to watch. And I think that also got my mind off of the fact that we were home alone, my husband and I. Yeah.
A little bit of distraction for that first week.
Yes.
And now that the programming is over, is there anything, the house is quieter, I'm sure. And do you feel it different? Adjusting, I know you all have a pet and she was helpful with that. That's all different, right?
Sure. I have to say, and I haven't even shared this with my husband. So it was Monday morning. He's already off to work. I'm having my breakfast, and I always watch the local news. And here it was already the first day of school for the local high school. And I'm watching it, and there's like the band is out. They're like, first day of school, the band and the cheerleaders. And they were at the school of my kids.
Yeah.
That's when I started crying.
Oh, no.
I was like, I was eating my breakfast, and that's when I think it hit me. I have no kids going back to school. It is a true thing.
And there's no connection to what's happening.
Yes.
Right.
And I had already deleted all the reminds, all the emails.
Yeah.
So I wasn't getting those messages. And I had done it intentionally because I need to just connect a little bit from the school. But that's when I think it really, that Monday morning, like I haven't even told my husband that happened to me. That's when I got oh gosh, we are home alone.
And Isaac mentioned our son is going into his third year. And Isaac mentioned that he just got kicked off the reminds, right, for the athletic booster. So it finally happened. I'm out of the group. And for me, I got kicked off like immediately. They're like, nope, she's gone.
Yeah.
But so how is your husband handling it? Is he feeling this similar to you, or because he was also probably home a lot more during the day to experience having them around.
He, for months, has been like, oh, I can't wait. Oh, we're going to do this and that. He mentally had been preparing. And I wasn't quite there. I was like, let's just first get the kids settled in. I need to make sure they make it through their first week of college, especially our young one. I couldn't even plan
Think about
for
it.
what was ahead. But he has helped, of course, to say, we need to go out more. We need to have our date night. We need to just trying to really
Every
do
day is date
things.
night.
Now it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're
So it's like
right.
all the time. Any meal is a date.
Yes, that's definitely what's different now as we come home. Like when I came home that first day from work, it's, yeah, Sammy's there to greet us, but it just, you usually go into the kids' bedroom. How was your day? What's going on? And
Right.
so we're over the summertime and it's,
Yeah.
nope.
I don't know how you're feeling, but my immediate reaction, because I was not only was I losing our son being home, that distraction, that day-to-day interaction, but I also stopped doing a lot for I was part of Booster and all of my activities, my third place, if you will, the other place I went in my life that
Yeah.
was really important to me ended too. It all ended. So for me, it was like quiet in the house, quiet mentally. Everything was just like, it's not there anymore. Things started, the game started, things started, and my mind was just like, okay, now what? I didn't realize how much it took up. And I made a shift, a conscious shift, just to focus on myself, onto my health. And we started
Awesome.
trying to exercising, trying to lose weight. And I did not realize until then how little I paid attention to myself.
That is so
Like
true.
like how
That's how we
much
do what we
I
do as parents.
prioritized
Yes.
everybody else, and I was happy doing that. I didn't realize I was doing that because
Sure.
I prioritized our kids, dinner, work obviously is a big priority for me, and then volunteering and Booster and the
Mhm.
time, and between all of that and a husband and date nights, and you
Yes.
don't realize that you're not prioritizing yourself,
Sure.
and I'm sure I'm not alone in that, but are you feeling
And
like
all that you're saying makes sense. I think when I felt the transition of, when our second child went off to college, because they're the ones that were really
mhm,
involved in different things. Our youngest one, she was more or student organizations, but not so much the sport part of it.
right.
And that's where it became a void. Like that's when we're like, oh, Friday night's here, but
We're
our
not
child
going
is not
anywhere,
to
yeah.
football. And of course, it's important to go support still your friends and family. But
You
for
didn't
us,
have
you
to
didn't
be
have
there.
that commitment to
Right,
be there and be there for the
right,
booster, be there for other organizations. And that was really difficult, I think, for both
right,
myself and my husband,
right, and
you
I
know?
didn't realize how much of my life it took, that how important it was a component of my whole
Yes.
day. So for me, I took that first year, okay, I'm gonna for myself, all in, losing weight, and we're gonna start exercising. Isaac and I together, workouts are date nights, so everything's a date night, and we really focused on ourselves. And then
Awesome.
we started this podcast, right? And then a little bit after that, you realize how much bandwidth you have.
You're setting the bar too high for
Yeah,
me there,
no, no,
Laura.
no.
I just
But for
became
me,
an empty nester, Laura.
yeah, but I realized how much like bandwidth how much I
Yes.
had to fill in my day because they took so much of it. And again, I was happy to do that. I was happy with my life, but I didn't realize how much of it was included with
You're
that.
just so
The day to day,
consumed
what do
by
you
all that.
need when
Yes.
school and where you need
Yes.
to go and you have a project and where are you and all these things. And then it's just like, not like they disappear, it just you don't have those same worries when they're not around. And maybe it's just me, but I'm like,
No, it's
what
true.
did he? I hope he got to school. I hope he went to work. I hope
Sure.
because you don't check on them like when they're home.
Not at all.
Like,
They've got their independence and you're relying that they
yeah,
do what they got to show up to class and
yeah,
everything. And so those thoughts are not put aside for a
yeah,
while anyway
yeah.
until you call them up on the phone. But yeah, there that
And
now there's so much time
or
now.
they would go out and I'm not going to go to bed until I know he's home safe. But when he's not here, when he's at college, I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Sure.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
absolutely.
going to sleep just fine. But that's
Yes,
so strange how that works,
it
right? Like your
is that
mind
you
is
feel like not
now they're
guilty,
on my
but it's
house.
like,
They're in
yes,
my house.
yes.
And now,
What it becomes, they're on their own 2 feet and they'll call mom and dad when they need something. And it's nice, but now it's like, God, let me take a step back and let them, hey, spread their wings and fly. We take the back seat and support them when they need us. And
yeah, for
yeah,
sure. So,
yeah.
right now that you're still in the early stages, are there any big concerns that you're having or challenges about what that's gonna look like now? Because also mention your eldest daughter is gonna finish graduate school and go into the workforce in short amount of time within
Right.
the year, and then your son will graduate and
Yeah.
also take a next step. It's all just
It is.
changing.
But it just still, you go back and just think, wow, it's always bittersweet because it's what you hope your kids will do, however they want to continue their education in different ways. But it's just, that's what they're adulting. They're becoming their own
Right.
person and eventually with their own jobs. And it is very different. I think sometimes my husband and I still, and it's different with every child. Our
Hmm.
oldest is pretty much on cruise control. Our second, we just still, not to say put guardrails, but we
Yeah.
still are very much, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? Because they just are
Yeah.
different.
Hmm.
And we sometimes say, let's just take a step back. Let's just let him do what he's got to do. But you're just, okay, I need to remind him if he did this. And
I
I
think
think,
guardrails is a good because you're letting them do it, but you're still there if they need
yes,
it, right?
yes.
Yeah.
And then I think our third one, of course, she just now into her second week, just know that I think she'll do well. It's just for her, it's always been the social part of it. She's just
Hmm.
quieter. She's more shy. And again, everyone is different. Just for her to get out there, meet people, and there's different ways of
Find
doing.
her group
Yeah.
and her people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
that's always scary, I think, to think about that. We had that conversation. Skylar's a lot like your youngest. And I remember telling her, you're going to have to leave your dorm room. Like, you're going to have to go make friends. You're going to have to get yourself out of your comfort zone and go try things you've never tried before. This is your chance to be a whole other person that you wish you always were, maybe, or
Yeah.
do things.
True.
And everybody here has similar interests. You're all at the same level. You're just as smart as everybody else. And you're come from obviously
Yeah.
families that support higher education. And this is where you'll find your people, if you will.
And I had that same conversation with our youngest just recently, just to say your dorm room is not going to be
Yeah.
your space. You got to get out and, like I say, face your fears and meet people. And it's so funny. Just yesterday, she goes, "Mom, I'm an official member of the history department, or the history organization."
Yeah.
And that was her first step. Okay.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Mom," and she got to meet people. And but again, it's her type of her likings of what she's wanting to do. So it was just nice.
And there's
Celina, I'm sorry to interrupt. Does she have a roommate?
So she does have a roommate.
Great.
And we knew it was going to be, not to say random pairing, but you do a little profile of likes and
Close enough.
dislikes. Her roommate, if I thought Andrea was quiet, her roommate's even quieter. And that's where Andrea has simply used the word, we're going to coexist. When what do you do? They're getting along, but it's not, she needs
We're
to
gonna
find
be
her
BFFs,
people.
yeah.
You're not going to be BFFs. You
Yeah.
got it. She's going to have to go out and meet other people in other ways. And she's okay with that. But you always wish there's a little more camaraderie with a roommate, but it's the thing that it's different. Everybody's different.
Truly.
Either set a roommate up already, or you're going to meet someone randomly, or you just go with the flow of things.
Lucas's current best friend, Bennett, he actually met him at the camp in the summer, and he wasn't his roommate. And Lucas is close to his roommates, so he's still roommates with one of them. We thought they're going to be his best friends, but his best friend he actually met, and they ran into each other, I guess, through that first year and became best friends. And the second year, they decided to live together, and they're still living together. But
Sure.
it didn't work that way that I thought would work, and it didn't for Skylar either, I don't think. Initially, they were, yes, BFFs, but as time went on, they found separate groups. And
Yes.
through the programs she was pre-med and Skylar was forensics. And they're both science, but different groups.
Yeah.
So they just went their separate ways, but still cordial. I think they would meet for coffee every once in a while, but it doesn't always end up like the movies, right?
Right.
Like, we're here.
Yes. And as like understanding of that. When she understands that, let me move on to something else.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Celina, I wanted to tell you too that I had the same reaction to the video, even though like, my kids have been gone out of school. This is the third year Lucas has been all the way out. And I didn't expect
I
it.
didn't see it. I heard it happen.
Yeah, it
but
came up on my social feed, right? And I saw it in the morning and I was looking, I was like, this looks super fun. And this is the kind of thing that I would normally be attending.
Yes.
And it had nothing to do with it. And it ambushed me. And I watched the video and I thought it was super cool. And I recognize all the people that work there, but the students, not so much. There are fewer and fewer that I really know personally.
Sure.
And this this school year is the last year where I really do know personally a lot of the kids that there were the younger siblings.
Yes.
And they're
Seniors
going to
now.
graduate this year. So I
sure.
don't really know, other than the kids of the people I work with that go to school there. Yeah.
Sure. It's just how that cycle is.
Yeah. And they're all little. Right? I don't know if I'm going to be there for them to graduate.
And like we're going through a new stage that's different as empty nesters is, our daughter's going to get married in 7 months.
Gosh.
And I had a conversation with her last night in this very room that we're sitting in, our studio as we refer to it. We don't refer to it as her room anymore. And she has her own house and she's getting married and she doesn't live in the area. And I asked her how she'd feel about us getting a sofa sleeper instead of keeping her bed in here. And she just like question mark on the text. And I was just explaining, like, it'd be nice to have more room. And you don't come home that often. And her comment was, only if you change Lucas's room to a sofa bed. I'm like, no, I can't do that. He's still
Right.
in college. You still want to
Right.
keep his space the
Sure.
way it is. But you're going to be married in 7 months.
Yeah.
At what point do we stop keeping it your room?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Our oldest one along those lines, she's now, Mom, I'm coming home as a guest. So that means that I'm not going to do the dishes. I'm a guest. I'm going to the guest bedroom. She's already
Yeah,
flung that
I'm
out the
out, yeah.
window. It's just, I'm
Yeah.
a
But
guest.
I don't know how you feel with her. She's 2 years younger, I think, than
Mhm,
Skylar.
mhm.
But with Skylar, I very much feel like I'm expecting a guest. Like, how am I going to entertain her? Where are we going to go eat? What are the things that we're going to do? As for Lucas, I'm like, he's home and he's probably going to go see friends or whatever. But with her, it really does feel like I'm having a
Sure.
guest come over. I make sure the bed's made and everything's in order. I move all the stuff around so she's not inconvenienced. But
Wow, nice mom.
when
She
do we
has high
stop?
expectations.
I am falling behind the curve.
Well,
for
you know,
everything.
her nickname's the warden.
Yeah.
Like we're scared of her. There's nothing. I want to make sure everything's in order.
Sure.
So I mentioned this sofa bed idea to Isaac, and he's, I don't know. So I just threw it out there on text because I'm too scared to do
yeah,
it.
to
in
like,
person.
yeah, let's see how she responds if there's silence right now.
And finally she's like, fine. She goes, as long as the bed is made when I go home to visit, like a bed. And I'm like,
go.
I can do that. But we're starting to think of like the room, the space. Like,
Sure.
at what point is it?
Right.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna leave us a bad review, right? If
Yeah.
we don't take care
I
of her.
think so.
She
Be
might.
careful with
She
that.
totally
Yeah.
might. So we are of the mind of leaving their rooms intact while they're in college. So once they're done with their undergrad, all bets are off. Your room might become something else, but we
Yeah.
will maintain Lucas's room for the duration of his undergraduate.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was one of the
Yeah.
things that when we left Skylar, our first, that the school, they did a parent session, said, make sure that the space that they grew up in is exactly the same, that they come home and they feel safe and wanted, and
Yeah.
that they know that's still their safe space. And
I agree with
we
that,
went with
yes.
that. We absolutely did. All bets were off when she graduated. Like,
Yes, sure.
and we switched rooms. We gave him the bigger room because she graduated from college and she was on her own. So we didn't make that. And we told him that that's not going to happen until your senior year when she graduates. Literally, the second she graduated was like, okay, he started moving things and like,
like, all right,
packing things.
I'm ready. I'm
you
going,
know, and
and I think it's going to be very different. Like our oldest, I don't think there's anything personal of effect in her room anymore.
yeah, I have that picture
Whereas-
that I put up, but that's about it.
That's all we've got.
And then I think our youngest, though, she's going to be like, I think that's where for her, it was like
Mhm.
leaving home, leaving
Her thing.
her things behind, her collection of things. And
Right.
that will be up for a long time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's not going to come down anytime soon because, and of course, she's in college.
I treat my office like a sanctuary, right? I have all the cool things that I
Sure.
like to surround even my work office. I have a bunch of stuff that I like to surround myself
Yeah.
with. So I
It's your
completely
comfort
understand.
space, that's her. Yeah.
And I did that, when Skylar moved into her townhouse. She has a lot of things. Like I said, they're very similar. She has all the books
Yes.
and all the pops and all the things that she loves, her Harry Potter stuff and her Star Wars stuff. And I put a whole wall of shelves that we went out and bought so we could just display all of her things because that's her home now. And at her apartment before, it was like a little bit like she would keep them in storage and put a little bit out, but this is now her home. So similar to Isaac,
Sure, you make it a home.
This
You
is
make
all
it a
your
home with their
things.
personal belongings and
And unfortunately, her fiance, I was like, this little area right here is for you. This is what I left here for you
Yes,
to put
yeah.
your stuff.
Yeah.
And I
But-
think his is in a box.
Yeah,
All
I
of
still
it.
think
Poor
it's not
kid.
out yet. And she's like, no, this is his. No, this is his. I'm like, okay. And it was like 4 shelves, I think I did.
We showed me
4
a
or
picture and
5,
it looked
yeah.
awesome, actually.
But
It's awesome.
because of that, because she's a similar thing, like her
Mhm.
things,
Her
to
collections
make
of
her
things,
home and her
yes.
comfort. But now they're all over there. I don't think now that we're having this conversation,
Yeah.
I think the mattresses are from
That's it.
her
That's it.
high school
Yeah.
time, but that's it.
Other than that, yeah.
That's it.
What about the summer? Because summer was a whirlwind for us because
Mhm.
Lucas came back home for the
Yeah.
summer, and we're used to him being away, and we're
And
used
you
to
had
not paying
your
attention.
son was home too, right?
He was
Yeah.
home too.
I don't know if it's a boy
Yes.
thing, but he's like a tornado, and there's a steady stream of friends of his coming in and out of the house at
Well,
any
this year was
hour
better than years prior. I
because of
think.
the internship.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he was working.
Okay.
And 8 to 5 was like mind blowing. In fact, he
Wow.
has class, his new schedule. They started school Monday, and he goes to school from 10, and he then works at 4 to 6, 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
And so he's 10 to 6, he's busy. And this is amazing. This is great because he was working 8 to 5 and just had lunch, but he still has a break between every class. And so that's his longest day, but it's like a cakewalk. His perspective is so different from working at an office
yes.
8 to 5.
Very different.
So now he's, I have a break between classes and I can go here and there. And 2 hours of work, I could do that in a heartbeat because he was working 8 hours a
yes.
day. And same thing, processing data stuff. So this is nothing. It's amazing. It's amazing. So he's really positive about
Hey,
his
great.
and
It's going to be a good semester
making-
grade-wise. He's got
hope so.
time.
making me feel bad about I still have to work 8 to 5. And that's what we told him this summer. Like, hey, do you want to go work out? He's like, I was working all day. Yeah, so does everybody else. But that adjustment,
Yes, oh, sure.
it was interesting. And like I said, now he's gone and we're like, oh, like relief.
Like also
Yeah, he
restful
was
for y'all
looking forward to it.
too.
And he's, no offense, I'm looking forward to going back. And I'm like, no offense, I'm glad you're going back. You get so
Yes.
accustomed to it. So that's coming along the way that you're going to grow so accustomed to it that when they're home, it feels strange.
It's happened already. Yes, the summer's come to an end, and you've enjoyed them. You always want them home, but it's time to get back to college.
Becoming an empty nester, start with small self-care things. I know you like to craft. Are there any plans you have for yourself coming up?
When you talk about that self-care, I really have put things on the back burner, even just to simply walk. I'm trying to do that now at home, just a little at a time, because that's what I really procrastinate to do. And now there's no excuse.
Reason.
I had a book ready to read. I had it ready by my bedstand so that at nighttime, just put away my phone, whatever it is, and that's really helped. I've even Keno, who never, ever has bought a book. It just not
he reads
his
a
cup
lot
of
for work.
tea.
Yeah.
He reads for work,
That's
but
his job.
But
Yeah,
you
but a
know
story,
what? He even sent it on the group, a family chat. Look at the books I bought. There are 3 books. And that's his goal, to finally read so that, maybe he and I can sit on the couch. I read my book, he read his,
Oh,
I
you
was
should
like,
start a
wow.
book club. You
Well,
should read
you
the
never
same
know.
book.
You never know.
Read the same book, and then you can
we're
have
on to
a
something.
discussion.
That is things that, for it to come from Ken, I was like, hey, I'm going to start doing that. It's my goal.
I like it.
So he definitely has things in mind to
Let me
kinda get
know
us
what you're
through it.
reading. I'll read it too.
Okay, John Grisham.
Yeah, definitely the best time to start explore new
Yes.
things and do new things. Like I said, for us, the podcast happened organically, but it was going into the 2nd year already for Lucas. So we had already had a whole year of just me. I'm just focusing on myself
That's
and
awesome.
just doing my own thing. And it's amazing.
And we need that.
Yeah.
we need
You
that.
don't realize, not just time wise, but how when your kids are busy, like how quickly you just pick up Chick-fil-A. Let's just pick up Whataburger. Let's have a bowl of cereal. Let's just real quick make this fast
The
food
eating
life
habits,
because you have to, because that's how life rolls. And it's normal. Everybody does. It's a part of, you feel like it's not a big deal.
No.
But when you have the time to cook and to think about what you're going to eat, and, I'm not to put anything on Skylar because she gets that from me, because I do think through what I'm going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm eating the meal, I'm thinking of my next meal. And that Isaac brought to my attention apparently is hereditary, because he was having a conversation with my dad and my brother with the same thing. But I enjoy food and I'm thinking about the
Yes,
next
what-
meal. But it's not.
That's my husband.
But it's not. It's what I'm going to cook, what I need to buy to make the meal, as opposed to we need to order, the fast food life that we had
Right.
when the
That's-
kids were little. So it's nice. It's nice to think about things like that. Yeah.
I don't think about those things at all.
Yeah.
See,
But
I'm
that's
kind of,
okay.
I'm in that way. My husband's the one that does just a lot. He's just a foodie guy, and he's always thinking about, okay, what are we having for dinner? And he's one that, now that we're home, empty nesters, oh my goodness, I've come home. He's got dinner ready with just the 2 of us, and it's wow.
And
you
I do
know?
the same. When Isaac gets home from work, I've pretty much cooking already and have everything
Yeah.
because I've planned that out. And he doesn't care so much. So I just plan the meals and he
Yes.
eats what's there.
Yeah.
but I do think it out and I can cook. And I've learned to cook a lot of things I didn't cook before.
That's true.
So
The menu has gotten a lot larger.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I had to take cooking classes. That should be on my to-do list.
You know what we did that is similar is we got HelloFresh, right? So they send you
Got
all
it.
the ingredients and the instructions on how to cook it. You still have to cut it and you have to do everything for it. They just send you the ingredients that you need to cook. And we did 2 meals a week, I think.
Yep.
But what I ended up doing is that the one recipes I did, I learned to make them and buy the stuff myself.
awesome.
So I just cooked those recipes.
Yes. Yeah.
I
yeah.
kept the ones that I really enjoyed and I put them into my daily thing. And we did that for about a year and now we don't. But now I know how to make them like eyes closed, no big deal. I
All
know
the
what to
greatest
buy.
hits.
All the
Ah,
greatest hits of
that's
the things that
good. Sure.
I tried. And
Yeah.
some things I liked,
Yeah.
some things I didn't, some things I liked more. And things I really liked, I learned to make. I even learned how to make their red crema sauce. I'm
Wow.
putting red peppers in the oven and I do it the day before so that when I do cook it, it's ready.
When are you inviting me for dinner?
All right, we need to
When
do
are you
that.
inviting me for dinner?
Yeah. It's
Friends
my
dinner.
favorite
That's what
meal.
it is.
Sure.
Instead of date night friends
And
dinner,
it's my
Laura.
my favorite meal, but they send you the sauce already done. So I had to look up the recipe on how to make the sauce and it takes time. So
Sure.
I make the sauce on the weekend so that during the week it's ready to
That's
cook.
great.
Something to look forward to, MC
Yeah.
Nesters.
I need to learn
Yeah.
from all
Learning
this.
to cook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some
So
more.
you do learn. So you can try that because that's how I learned to make stuff outside of the 4 things I knew how to make tacos.
Right. Sure.
And
No,
mac
and
and
that's something
cheese.
definitely that
Mac and cheese. It was
Yeah.
like big.
that all those things are just
Quick
you know,
ramen. are
the simple things
you-
that it's like just you want to, and like I said, you want to even eat healthier. So
Yeah.
just break out of that.
That has happened for sure. It
Yeah.
has definitely gotten a lot better.
That's awesome.
So
Mhm.
let's talk a little bit more about this first week and how are you all communicating? How have you been talking every day to Andrea or like texting?
Sure. All of them have been really good about texting. And I definitely took FaceTime, mostly Andrea right now, looking at her even just her reaction.
Trying to gauge.
And that's been really good. But I think she also lights up just when we talk. It's great just to hear her day and learning the routine of where she needs to be at what time, just getting her routine of lunch, things like that. And it's been good. She just really has done great. Just learning the ropes, learning the bus routes, whatever it is. And that's been really good. She's impressed me on that. I thought
Yeah.
she'd be a little
Nervous,
shy there,
yeah.
but no, she's taken things on her own and told me she's been there and just has really
Good.
enjoyed
and,
that stuff.
And talking to you. So
And
that's good.
talking, yes.
That's, I think, always the hardest part on when you're going to communicate. With Skylar, we text every day. We still text every day, but the calls were not always there. And Lucas is very rarely get a FaceTime. Like I get calls usually when he's en route from walking somewhere,
Mhm.
but a FaceTime very rarely.
It
I
just-
think,
yeah.
no, it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. Skylar was like, I think almost every Sunday she called us FaceTime. Just need to see you. And Lucas is more like proof of life, please. And he's like, I'm fine.
That's how some boys are.
But
Yeah.
I know I'm going to get a call when there's class, but on a weekend, don't expect to hear anything.
Right.
And
He's
that's
on fun
just-
time.
Yeah,
That's
for
his fun
sure.
time.
And,
Probably won't even be in town.
we've learned that's the routine, right? Like that.
Yeah.
how
You know
things
what
go.
we're trying to do now that they're settling into their semester is just to find a time, maybe once during the week, to do a group FaceTime call.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Now everybody's away from home, and that's what would be our goal.
As a
is to find
technology
time.
person, I totally
Yeah.
forgot we could do that. I think I did
Yeah.
it. I think I did it when it was introduced
Mhm.
with my friends, and
Like,
then I never
everybody
did it
on.
again.
During COVID, I think you got on calls and
Yeah, it
a
was
lot
like Zoom
that.
calls and all
Yeah.
stuff. But you
Sure.
can do a group
You
FaceTimes
can.
now.
FaceTime.
And
You can get a lot of people on there. I think that would be nice just to
Um,
find a time slot, like in the evenings. Okay, time for our phone
Again,
call.
it would just be
Yeah.
us and Skylar because
Yeah.
Lucas will
No,
never
I'm gonna get the boy on there.
He's never
somehow.
He
going to
may
get
surprise you, Laura.
No.
We have to incentivize it.
That's right. Yeah,
That.
a little carrot, something, ding a little carrot. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Uh.
That has been the other thing, him getting back to work, and he worked in the summer, like my pocketbook being alleviated a little bit because
Awesome. It feels
Wow.
good. Yeah, when they have a summer job. Yes.
But he's expensive when he's home.
Yeah.
Our electricity bill went up like $150 because he keeps it at 60 something.
Yeah. So there's the good with the bad, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you got to take it as it rolls.
It is fun having him around though. He's
Yeah.
super interesting. I'm really enjoying the people that they're becoming.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It really is how you
It's
carry
a
those conversations
noticeable
with them.
difference.
Yes.
Oh, you can articulate that really well. Not that I
Yeah.
didn't think you could, but
Education is paying
right,
off.
it's like-
Education's paying
Yes.
off,
there's
Isaac.
things
Yes.
happening over there.
Yes. Speaking of education's paying off, he was walking yesterday and he was complaining about he saw a football player and we better win and blah blah blah. Like the he's driving a new car. My tuition better not be paying for that car. But I was like, we're paying for your education academically. We're not paying for the football team to drive nice things or
Right.
to win. I am. My money's going to make sure that team wins. How embarrassing. I was like, okay, let's focus here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We exactly know how the finances for the university
no.
works. I'm
I was
pretty
like,
sure
they're
it
not
doesn't work
going
that
from
way.
your
Right.
tuition.
Yeah.
They're not. Your tuition's not going to pay that player's car.
Athletics,
for sure.
it's its own machine.
Yeah.
Usually.
That's
Yes.
right.
And I'm sure that poor kid's parents are paying for that vehicle.
Very likely, yes.
Yes.
So good. I'm glad that she's finding her way and y'all are talking and maintaining that connection. And that'd be fun, like a weekly call. I don't, like I said,
Mhm.
ours would probably be monthly, but yeah, we don't worry about
So let's
Skylar.
shoot for the weekly so we can get the monthly.
That's true.
But that's awesome. We can do a book club and a dinner, cooking classes.
All of this is sounding good to me already.
Yeah.
Yes,
And when
for
we
sure.
first became empty nesters, we had other friends that were also, and we were, I think,
Mhm.
doing like a weekly dinner. It was really nice. We've all strayed from that because you get busy again. For me, like I said,
Yeah.
at the time when we became empty nesters, I was like, I'm so done. I'm so done with everything and everyone. I want to do nothing, like nothing.
Sure.
And this is
Take
going
a
to be the
step back.
most selfish time of my life. I'm just going to take care of myself. And if you had asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, you should go back to school and you should do this, I would have been like, no, never. And here I am a year into
That's
a
crazy.
doctorate
Yes, never say
program
never.
because I have the capacity for it now.
That's great.
I can't imagine ever doing any, not the podcast, not school, when the kids were here. Just
Mhm.
your mind starts
can't,
to
yeah.
shift into things. Maybe you go
And
back
other
for
things-
another medical degrees.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yes, I'm good.
Yeah, and you start thinking about the little things that you could do.
Absolutely. It's nice to do things also. We do things for our kids so much. And it just, hey, it's time to just, as a parent, just
Yeah.
you re-energize as well. And it also adds to our parenting to become better parents too.
Yeah.
And they see that education never ends. When
It's
you're
true.
saying you go back to school, getting your PhD, oh my gosh, that's so admirable. And I think the kids should see it that way too. That's awesome.
And I think, like Isaac was talking about, you just also them enjoy who they're becoming now that they're educated or entering the workforce
Yes.
and how they're evolving. We say this all the time. I like them better than when they were little. I don't cry or I'm not sad about the little toddlers running around in the park and the snot and the the dirty heads.
We did
goodie
all of
bags,
it.
The
We
treat
did all of
bags,
it.
all
Yeah,
of that.
no, we
yes.
did it and we loved it then, but
Yes.
I'm not longing for it. I love who they are now. Like
sure.
I love all those
Sure.
things.
There's a time for
Say what you mean, kid.
everything. Yeah. Yes.
And now they can say it. They'll tell you.
Yeah. They sure will.
I don't
you
like
know?
what you said.
Yeah. I can have those conversations and you're on the same playing field.
Or
Absolutely.
yeah, or you're going to dinner and like Skylar be like, oh, I want to have a pina colada. And like just thinking about they're enjoying themselves as adults around you. It's odd at first,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
it is.
They're growing into
It is.
adults, their own people.
Yes.
And it's nice to experience that. It's a whole other
Sure.
parenting experience. And
It
like I
is.
said, then you're soon going to be, I don't know when you're going to be with weddings, but that's
Yeah.
where we're at now.
I think that's quite a way away.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's so good. So personal goals, read some books, walk some more,
Yeah.
have
Always
some dinner dates.
have some dinner dates. And to me, I always organizing, cleaning up things at home that I'd like to do or outdoors, just
Love to garden. And
yes,
just
things
stuff
like that. I enjoy all of that. And I've been learning to play a little golf with my husband. He has really
you
loved
took up
that.
golf. I forgot.
You know,
that.
and I've enjoyed it much more than I thought I would.
Mhm.
So that's been a lot of fun. And I'm a work in progress, but definitely I think that just puts a big smile on my husband because it's just something
You
for
can enjoy
years
together.
he's been wanting me to do. And it just, again, I wouldn't do it because I'm like, the kids got
Yeah.
this or that. So it just, you
Yeah.
don't do it. But we do that now.
I think
So those are
every
the things we enjoy.
golfer is a work in progress.
It's a work at all times.
I
It will
have
be
asked,
forever.
I asked, because Lucas is a golfer, I have asked him to show me how to golf. Isaac tinkers there and there, here and there, but he's
Mhm.
never been, taught how to golf, so he can't help me. But I've asked Lucas to show me, but again, the time to do it, that's a evolving thing, and he just doesn't have he's
Well,
not
we add
here.
that to our
right? So-
list, Laura. We add that to our list to go
I mean, we'll
golfing
see.
together and
Mhm.
Yeah.
learn together.
Yeah.
I will
'cause-
embarrass myself in front of friends.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how it all starts.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how it
It's-
begins. Believe me.
Easily.
I have a feeling that deep down I'm an amazing golfer.
Yeah. You have it. You have
Like,
it
I
all.
have
It's
it
just
in
the
me
technique is there.
somewhere in
you
my
know?
head that I have
Yeah.
the ability to be
Yeah.
a good golfer.
Well, see, there we
Anyways,
go.
But from the one time that,
That
like I hit a golf ball.
Mid contact with the ball.
Yeah, that I made contact with the ball. That's really hard to do.
it's very
It's very
hard
small.
to- Yes.
Yes. But that's
See?
like when Lucas started playing golf, I did not realize how hard that is to do, is to hit that ball. It
Yes.
seems like a very simple thing, but it's not. So
No.
good. I'm glad to hear that everything's going well. And I really appreciate you sharing the story. And to other parents, do you have any advice to parents who are starting this journey? They're looking forward a year from now, becoming empty nesters, and how you thought about that?
Parents who have their seniors and about to be, in high school, and they just want to enjoy the moment now, enjoy their last year in school, their senior year. And I think I tend to be prayerful, and you're going to be prepared for what is to come next. When things will be put in your path that will occupy your time once they are gone, other things come along your way. You never know. You may be called to serve in an organization that you never expected.
Yeah, that would be
It
amazing. Definitely.
just things come down your path that look at you, Laura, like you thought you're doing things that you never ever thought you'd be doing.
Mhm.
And there's going to be a plan. There's something
Yeah.
comes across across your path.
And I
know.
recognize also there's parents out there whose kids won't leave home, right? They will
True,
graduate and they won't
absolutely.
leave home.
Absolutely.
But there's still a next step of enjoying your children as they become adults and learning a new way of communicating, a new
Yes.
independence too, even if they are in your house, because they're adults and you have to adjust similarly as if
For
they weren't in your
sure.
house.
Yeah. And you can still reclaim your time
Oh,
because
yes.
Yeah.
you don't have to be at those games anymore and you don't have to get
Yeah.
them school clothes anymore. They're just
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
adults now.
Yeah. And that we do have friends that, yes, great. They attend here locally at a great university and they're at home. But again, as a college student, they've got their own thing going on.
Mhm.
And the parents have their own thing going on. And sometimes you don't see each other
Yeah.
as often, even though you're under the same
Right.
house.
And you might not realize how
under
things
the
have
same roof,
changed
you
because
know?
you're running parallel lives, right?
Yeah.
But I
No?
think that's a great way to say reclaiming your time, right?
Yes.
Like what that's it. And I
Yeah.
think it looks different for everybody, obviously. I would never say,
Right.
okay, you have to go do these things.
They
There's
do.
no
No,
right way to do it,
right.
but definitely reclaiming your time for
Yes.
something you're passionate about or you've
Most
been
certainly.
putting off forever. Those are fun things to learn and to do. So thank
I
you for
agree.
sharing. I'm so excited for you all.
Thank
and that
you.
because we've enjoyed the last 2 years. So hopefully
It only gets
Well, we're
better.
going to
It
learn
only
from
gets
y'all. We're going to
better.
learn
Yeah.
from y'all. Absolutely.
We're going to start book club. We'll see what.
That sounds good.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me. Thank you.